Hey everyone, it's Melinda with Tailored and Teal. Welcome back to another What Sold video. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I do these What Sold videos every 2 weeks and I go over sales on Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay. And these are all sales from January 1st through January 15th of 2023. Well, I do think that this video will be quite short because yet again, for the second month in a row, I've not had great sales. I had no sales on Mercari, so we're going to start on Poshmark where I had 10 sales. I did have good momentum of the first couple of days of January on Poshmark, but then after the first week, it just kind of went downhill. The first one was an item from 2019. I'm always still happy that these old items are selling, but this one was a little sad because I didn't really expect it to sell for as low as it did. It was a Lacoste navy blue corduroy hooded jacket. This was a full zip, long sleeves. I did find it in the men's section, but I actually believe it was a women's jacket based off of the measurements and also what Lacoste said on their website as to what measurements were for men versus women. This I picked up for $4.99, thinking it would sell for at least $25 to $30, and finally it sold for $10. That was my full asking price because I've lowered a lot of old items down to a low price point, so there was no shipping discount for that. So I made an overall profit of $2.06. Pretty sad, but I don't really find Lacoste in my area, so I'll definitely have to look up comparable sold listings the next time that I do find it. Next up was a pair of jeans from Jones, New York. These were the battery ankle acid wash pants or jeans. They were in a very light teal and white color, kind of a tie-dye effect, and they sold for $15, which was an offer a customer sent to me with no shipping discount. The third sale was a necklace from my Via Trading Amazon jewelry lot. This was a new in box Hera Link 14 karat gold plated paperclip chain necklace, nice and chunky, but also classic and kind of in style right now. It sold for $9 with no discounted shipping. Next was a pair of Garnet Hill soft, super soft, black wide leg pull-on elastic waist pants. These were only listed for a couple of weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, and they sold for $28. That was an offer that the customer and I went back and forth on, so there was no shipping discount for that one. Next is a pair of Lululemon black high-waisted stirrup leggings. These were a pretty old pair of Lululemons, and I don't mean old like worn, I mean pretty early on in Lululemon's business. I couldn't find the exact style name because it was so old, but for being an older style, they were in good condition still, and they sold for $35 with discounted shipping. Next is a pair of men's shoes. These came out of a ThredUp rescue box. I don't remember if they were in a men's rescue box or a shoe rescue box, but either way, they came from ThredUp. Really excellent condition, very minimal wear, and they sold for $45, and that was my full asking price, so there was no shipping discount for that. Next was a very large clutch from Jessica Simpson. It was black lace and leopard print underneath, had a really huge floral bow on the front, and I said it was a clutch because there was no handle, there was no strap, but it was actually pretty big. It was a big clutch. I did purchase this from ThredUp's outlet center, so I did pay up a little bit for it. This only sold for $17 with discounted shipping, so I only ended up making a profit of $1.82. Jessica Simpson usually sells pretty fast for me in both shoes and purses. I just don't think this particular style was a highly desirable piece. Next up is another bag. This was a rainbow shaped clear bag or clutch. It did have a zipper on top. It was 100% plastic. I picked this up in a Pennsylvania thrift store for 99 cents. It only sold for $8, but after fees and everything, I still made triple my original investment, so I'm okay with that. Next is a Maidenform Black One Fab Fit Dream Underwire Bra. This was a free to me item and it sold for $12 with discounted shipping. And then the last sale on Poshmark was kind of an interesting one. I purchased a ThredUp mixed item box back in January of 2022, and this particular coat was in it. So it was a Tulle, and that's Tulle, that was the brand, orange striped wool blend long coat that had buttons down the front. Whatever material was on the front of the buttons, like the coating, became sticky. And I tried to remove the stickiness, but I think it was just whatever coating was just disintegrating, and all of the buttons basically needed to be replaced. I had it hung up on my rack for literally 1 full year. I did not get any buttons to replace it. I didn't try to fix it at all. So finally one day I just decided to list it as is, let somebody else deal with it. It was a nice coat other than those buttons being really sticky, and someone put it in a bundle and I sent them a $10 offer and they accepted. I did only make a profit of $3.73 on it, but for something that was hanging on my rack for 1 full year, I'm happy with that $3.73. Oh, and you'll see in this picture that the middle button was missing, but when I went to pack it up to ship it, I found the extra button in one of the pockets. So I put a little note saying that I found it, and hopefully the customer can repurpose or put new buttons on because it was a really cute coat. So of my 10 Poshmark sales, I had $189 in sales, $42.75 in fees, $5.16 in shipping discounts, giving me a profit of $141.09. And my average sales price for each item that sold was $18.90. Moving on to eBay, where I had 13 sales. And oddly enough, the first sale was a Christmas themed item, which Christmas was just a week before this. It was part of my Via Trading Amazon jewelry lot, and it was a pair of Belle Christmas rhinestone earrings, gold tone, no precious metals or stones, and they sold for my full asking price of $15.99. Next up was a vintage gold tone satellite beaded long necklace. This was unbranded, had no markings, and did have a little bit of gold tone color loss, but it sold for $8.99. Next was a Logo by Lori Goldstein teal geometric printed tunic. This was super soft. The fabric is always so nice on the Logo items, and it sold for $17, and that was an offer that the customer sent to me. Next is a New with Tags Champion black big and tall short sleeve t-shirt. This was a 5XL. It came in one of my ThredUp men's rescue box, and it sold for my full asking price of $19.99. This next sale was actually my best sale on both platforms. It was a pair of Sesto Miucci black knee-high leather boots with little suede bows on the back. Had a little bit of an equestrian look to it. These came from my most recent Helpsy boot box, and they sold for $40. I believe I listed them at $55 or $60, and someone sent me this offer of $40. They were only listed for a few days, so I went ahead and accepted it, and they did end up paying over $22 in shipping because they lived all the way on the West Coast. Next up is a vintage Anna Christie bright pink button front blouse. This blouse came out of my America's Thrift Supply micro bale. It was a size 4 petite, so it was relatively small, and since it's vintage, I'm sure it fit even smaller. It did have some marks on the back that I couldn't remove. I was and am currently running a 10% off sale on my entire eBay store, and it sold for my full asking price, which is the sale price of $13.49. And then we have an item that I actually just got a postage dispute on the other day. It was a lot of 3 Maybelline Dream Lumi concealers. This was number 70, which is dark, I believe. These little tubes of concealer only weighed 0.05 per tube. I think I said the package weighed under 4 ounces, which it did, but USPS is telling me that it weighed 14 ounces. So when you get a postage dispute email from eBay, they will tell you if you want to dispute this, here's an email that you contact for USPS. You need to provide certain numbers that eBay does give you, and then you can dispute it that way. So I did contact USPS with all of that information. It's only $2.42, but I know for a fact it is 100% not correct that they weighed 14 ounces. Oh yeah, and I didn't tell you how much they sold for, but I'm sure that you can see up here. They sold for $6.50. I did lose money on this. I lost $1.15, but I've had these since 2019. I watched some people on YouTube that also sold cosmetics, and I thought that it was a great idea. It was not for my business. I now know that I need to look for those discontinued items, and these were nothing special. Next is a pair of little ankle booties. These were Cloud Steppers by Clarks. They were the black Caddell, Caddell. I've never heard of that word before. Hop wedge lace-up ankle boots. These came out of my Helpsy boot box, and they sold within a week of me listing them for $25. And that was an offer that the customer sent to me. The next sale is a necklace from my most recent ThredUp 10-pound jewelry lot. This might have been an expensive brand. However, I couldn't verify that it was actually that brand. It was a white magnesite and wood beaded large horn or tooth long necklace. I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be in the shape of a horn or the shape of a tooth, so that's why I put both. It had a very small little hang tag on the top of it that said Hip Chick, which Hip Chick is a very expensive, kind of like, I don't want to call it a boutique brand, but they have their own website. Necklaces like this were selling for over $100 on their own website. And looking at sold comps, they also were selling for over $40 to $50 on Poshmark. But the little hang tag that mine had didn't really match any of the other identifications on those listings. So that's why I didn't say it was this brand. I did mention that it had that hang tag. However, I still priced it up a little bit because it was a heavier, substantial piece, and it sold for $26.99, and that was my full asking price with my 10% off discount that I have still running. Next is an item that sold once before, what was returned and then sold literally a few days later. It was a pair of Amazon Essentials Men Slim Fit Khaki Pants, size 32 by 33. These sold for $12.50, and I think that the last time they only sold for $10, so I made a little bit of extra money. The next sale is proof that you really need to look up comps when you are in stores if you are able to. This was the brand Raffia Linea Uomo. It's Italian. It was a wool and cashmere blend quarter zip men's sweater. I picked it up because number one, it was in really nice condition. It was a wool and cashmere blend, and it was made in Italy. And I distinctly remember looking up comps while I was in the store, but I couldn't really find anything. So I just went with my gut and purchased it. I paid $4.99. I received an offer for $10, and this was after I had already lowered it down to $15, and I decided to just take that offer. And I did make over $6 and change in profit, so I'm certainly not losing any money. But the next time that I can't really find any information about a brand, I might think twice about picking it up. Next is another pair of boots from my Helpsy boot box. As you can see, the boot box does well. I am very thankful that both of my boot boxes have done well from Helpsy. These were the brand Nature Breeze black faux leather lace-up combat boots. This brand is nothing special. They were in very dirty condition when they came to me. I cleaned them up as best as I could, but I did notate that they were in pretty worn in condition, meaning like the footbed wasn't really comfortable. They kind of had some wear here and there. These boots sold for my full asking price of $13.49, and that was with the 10% off sale that I am running. I always get a little bit nervous when I sell something that is not in perfect or gently used condition. Like these were pretty worn in, but the customer left me feedback saying that they were in the exact same condition as I described and that they were very happy with their purchase. So that makes me feel good as a seller. And hearing that feedback kind of gives me a little bit of validation that I'm doing my listings and my descriptions correct, because I never want one of my customers to receive an item that they weren't expecting it to be in a certain condition. So very happy with this sale. And then the last sale was actually a personal item of mine. It was a Tech Gear Keyhole medium impact space dive tie black and gray sports bra. I picked this up at Kohl's, but it was a little bit too tight. I did still wear it a few times, but it was still in very nice, gently used condition, and it sold for $6.50. So of my 13 eBay sales, I had $216.44 in sales. I did make a shipping profit of $30.77 because I charge the customer a little bit more than what I have to pay through eBay's discounted shipping program. There was $53.40 in fees, giving me a profit of $193.81. And my average sales price for each item that sold on eBay was $16.65. Now moving on to my total numbers, where I had 23 sales on 2 platforms, $405.44 in sales, $70.54 in fees. Cost of goods was $80.07, giving me a profit of $254.83. And my average cost of goods for each item that sold was $3.48. Well, thank you for watching this short what sold video. This past week, I had another gap of 4 days where I had a $0 sales day on Poshmark, so I really have no idea what to expect going forward, but I hope that your sales are good. And I hope that my next what sold video will be more exciting. So until next time, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!